Who wouldn't want to have Bill Murray as a dad? On Film Threat Reviews. Hi, I'm Alan Ning. I'm with Zorianna Kit, and today we review On the Rocks, which is now on Apple Plus. A young woman reconnects with her larger-than-life playboy father on an adventure through New York. That doesn't quite describe the movie, but it's just directed by Sophia Coppola, stars Bill Murray, Rashida Jones, Marlon Wayans, and it's on Apple Plus. Maybe I should explain a little bit more, but Rashida Jones plays a mother. Her father suspects that her husband is cheating on her, and he takes her on an adventure to find out if that's true or not. Sophia Coppola, we love her. Okay,
yes.
What did you think of On the Rocks?
Finally, a feature film on Apple Plus that I can get behind. I have to say, other than watching the morning show, I haven't exactly been flocking to Apple Plus. So this was just a great film. I am a huge fan of Sophia Coppola, very much so. I find that there's always subtle autobiographical elements to her work. And this one perhaps too. I mean, this stars Rashida Jones as a mother who is very well-to-do. Affluent. Her father's even more affluent.
She's a writer.
Yeah, she's a writer working on her second novel, but never really see her writing, and her writing space is so gorgeous. But the thing is the fact that they're wealthy New Yorkers and completely unrelatable to me on that level. It's really not about their wealth or materialism that is at the heart of this film. It's about the fact that the marriage might be stale, or there might be some problems there, some lack of communication, possible cheating, things that aren't being properly addressed that then snowball into something much greater. And that is something that I think is relatable to anyone who is in any type of relationship where there's communication lacking, where your imagination starts going wild. You start thinking things that might be true or may not be true. Is it your gut instinct that's telling you this? Or are you just taking a germ of an idea and completely overreacting? And I think that applies to so many people, no matter what your level of income is. And that's what connects the audience to this movie. That and the fact that we have the glorious Bill Murray starring as her father, and he is just a joy.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I like the movie just as much as you did, but I saw it from a completely different perspective.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, to me,
you relate to all the affluent people?
Oh no, that's I can't do that. But in terms of the story, to me, was not necessarily about the alleged affair, but it's really about this relationship between Rashida's character and Bill Murray as the father. You know, it was, to me, that was the story, and that the whole, you know, tracking down and following the husband was just kind of the subplot to this. Because it was just interesting to me to see this dynamic of, you know, you describe Rashida's character as I don't know why I don't have the names of the characters down, but you know, she's very well-to-do. She's very confident. She's, you know, that strong woman we all you know, like in our movies. But at the same time, she has a father who is just has such great influence on her, whether it's because he's her father or because she admires him in some ways, or just that, you know, father, daughter, parent, child relationship. And he gets her to do things in ways that compromises her not only her character, but her morals, so to speak. You know, and to me, that was the most fascinating part of that. And to see that, you know, that's where the real arc of this movie, I believe, is.
You're right. It is a father-daughter relationship under the guise of, let's see if your husband is cheating on you. So let's go on this screwball comedy type joyride. However, for me, it was mature from the standpoint that, like, it could be where the filmmaker is at in her life. She's been a mother for some time. She's already been married and divorced. And so she She's not a young ingenue starting out in the business making movies. This is her. I mean, she worked with Bill Murray in Lost in Translation back in 2003. So she's definitely at a different stage in her life. And I feel like this sort of reflects that, like that you do wonder at some point, like, what is my life about? Am I still attractive? Does my husband have any interest in me? Is his coworker hitting on him? Yeah. Does he find her more attractive than me? Does he want me? And and the fact that her father was a serial cheater growing up,
yeah,
means that she not only has those questions, but the other questions are like, am I repeating a pattern? Am I continuing this family curse of becoming like my mother, who gets involved with a serial cheater? Because it's very clear Bill Murray, as her father, he's a bon vivant. He's a man about town. He hits on every woman he meets, from her daughter's ballet teacher to the waitress. Yes, like,
he always has to make an entrance and make an impression everywhere he goes.
Exactly.
Like Bill Murray.
So either she loves him so much that she just accepts him for who he is without question and just goes for it, or she's just, I don't know, apathetic or resigns herself to the situation that, like, this is her dad, but it is the dad that she has, and therefore the bond is there.
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting and what the movie has a lot in is how he gets her to do things. Yeah. and not just simple things, but these are huge things he gets her to do when it comes to tracking down her husband. I glance over a few reviews. I try not to read too much before I actually review it myself, but I see where some people might have issues with the movie, in the sense that this is not necessarily a true narrative, a movie with a true narrative into it. To me, this is a character movie, and that's why I say, the star of this movie really is that relationship between Rashida Jones and Bill Murray. And that is why you're watching this movie.
That's Sophia Coppola anyways. Her films have always been very character driven. They've always been about people who are a little more affluent, people who have quote unquote rich people's problems, but also how beautiful was New York, right? I mean, the way everything was just photographed, and I mean, it makes you just want to move there. It's well, not now, but it's you long for a pre-pandemic New York, I think.
So let me ask you this question: Bill Murray, was he doing something new, or was he doing something the same?
The thing about Bill Murray is we don't know him. Like, we just know sort of the persona that he doesn't make a lot of movies, and he's not in the tabloids that much. But when he is in the tabloids, it's because he's done something that we've deemed super cool, like showing up at some
party.
Yeah, like something super cool that you're like, whoa, look at him. So I like to think that we really don't know who Bill Murray is, and we're just projecting our own things onto him. So for some people, you might think that this guy's kind of playing the same asshole-y character that we've seen him play in movies before. Maybe this isn't a stretch for him. Maybe some of that is him. But see, when I think of him, I look at all the years of him on Saturday Night Live and all the different comedy roles that he's played there. And I'm just like, well, that's a completely different Bill Murray than the ones we've known in his, last decade of feature film work. So, I do think that there is some, when he finds the writer writes for him. There's someone, whoever's writing for him, and Sophia definitely has something there with him where she knows him in a way where she's writing to whatever his strengths are. And I do think he's acting, but he's clearly enjoying himself too.
Some actors are just comfortable in certain roles, and I think Bill Murray is definitely this. If you're looking for the guy who can walk into a room and light it up and, and not be the attention for the sake of being the attention, Bill Murray's your guy, and he's very good at it, and that's why we love him, and that's why we see his movies.
But I also think there's got to be like a reluctance for him. Also, he's not seeking to be. Unlike this character that, like you said, has to make a grand entrance. I don't think the real Bill Murray is longing to do that.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's a documentary to be made about the elusive Bill Murray.
Yeah. You know, I mean, if you want to see Bill Murray stretch himself, I mean, St. Vincent is a good example of that.
So good, right? So good. But by the way, a little bit of that asshole character is in that one too. Like he's good at kind of playing a charming asshole.
Yeah. Groundhog Day, you know, we can go down the list.
Yeah.
Meatballs is the only one where he's a really cool guy. All right. All right. So I'm going to guess, I mean, you clearly loved it. I loved it.
Did.
Let's see. You gave it an 8. You gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8.5. 8.5. I really enjoyed this film. It's 90 minutes. It goes by so quickly.
Oh, it does. It does.
And I feel like and any other filmmaker probably would have been more self-indulgent and just made it longer for the sake of making it longer. But this is like so super efficient, and it covers all this stuff. It crams it all in without feeling rushed. And it's an 8.5 for me. I'd watch it again. I really, really enjoyed it. And for you, I think you enjoyed it a lot as well. I think you gave it an 8.5, possibly a 9.
I gave it an 8, but it could easily be an 8.5. Yeah, I think maybe the fact that it wasn't necessarily a traditional narrative that maybe gave it just a tiny bit down. But you know, I would watch it again as well. And you know, you're
a father with a daughter, and did it make you think of your relationship with her at all, or is she too young for that?
I mean, too young for the movie, yes, but in terms of what I want for her, and you know how I act around her, and what kind of father I want to be, you know, I'm always thinking about that stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, there you go. And you know,
because I
want to be Bill Murray to her, maybe.
Because my dad passed away when I was 17, so I don't have the luxury of having an adult relationship with my dad. And God, I would do anything to be able to hop in that little red convertible with my dad and just go on this adventure.
Go spying your husband.
Well, you know, my dad, I definitely do remember flying with my dad and him kind of flirting with the airline attendants, but you know.
Yeah.
We digress now.
Yeah. All right. So we want Bill Murray as our dad. All right. So be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below as to what you thought of On the Rocks. And with that, let's get out of here.